Same stridency, with the same stridency, it cannot be overlooked, can it? And let me draw in Dr. Ajay Kumar, who's been a former IPS officer and a member of parliament. Dr. Kumar, let me ask you, the question is also with the same stridency, it must be asked, who is the mole in the SIT? Why are SIT papers being leaked to people in the Gujarat government? Is this man being victimized because he's raising the entire question? He has faced FIRs, he has charges of hacking put against him. His testimony stands between a man and his national ambitions. That's the political context to this. Now let me draw in Dr. Ajay Kumar. Your response to Meenakshi Lekhi, that this is a pure case of indiscipline of an officer, nothing political.
Arnab, you know, it's interesting that my colleagues on the panel are saying that it's not a vendetta, because if you look at the history of what Sanjeev is going through, he had a writer constable who filed an affidavit against the government, then they coerced him to file an FIR saying that it was under coercion. The second part was then there was a case filed against him under the IT Act, and now this suspension. If Sanjeev Bhatt is the only guy in the Gujarat civil services, whether it's in the IPS or the IAS, who is requesting for leave, and you have the government as the prerogative to extend the leave. I mean, if you deny a man a leave, then obviously he's going to be, I mean, you're going to take a stand that he's not, he's illegally absent. But the fact is that he's been applying, I mean, and whatever be the reason. And the basic integrity to say that, look, here is a guy who's speaking against the government, and you'd go hammer and tongs after him, try to demoralize him. It raises a simple logic question. You see that how can you hear independent voices in the civil services or in the police? And whenever you have anybody speaking against the situation which is not conducive to the powers that be, then you find every method to muzzle them. And that's a simple example. You know, you get the writer constable to file a FIR in the police station. You file an IT Act case under the IT Act. And then you trump up a charge of, and suspend him on cases of absentation. And the question is he the only guy in the Gujarat government who is absent? First question. Or was he the first guy, only guy they wanted to go after? It will be interesting to find out that are there any other senior civil servants who have been absent or who have shown dereliction of duty? And is this the only guy? I mean, and the rest of the Gujarat bureaucracy is very, very.
And I have a more fundamental question.
Sober, etc., etc.
No, I have a more fundamental question, Meenakshi.
I mean, I would expect them to have the integrity to say that.
Yes, please.
No, I have a more fundamental question. The fundamental question is this. Let me draw in Kamini Jaiswal, then I come straight back to you. And I want to tell our viewers, Sanjeev Bhatt and his lawyer are going to come back in a few minutes. Now, here's the fundamental question. Fundamental question is this. You say that this man has been on unauthorized leave. And hence, you wake up one fine morning, 1 minute, Mr. Rosa, you discover, Mr. Rosa, look at the wonderful situation we are in. You discover after 125 days, on the 126th day, which happens to be 2 days after you file a case, a FIR against him for allegedly hacking, you don't investigate whether your government officers and your ministers and your government got access illegally, illegitimately to files they should not have had access to. You file a case and an FIR against the person who is carrying out the expose, disregarding the truth that he is trying to expose, and you follow it up by discovering that, by the way, he's been on leave, so let's also suspend him. I mean, this is pure and out circumstantial vendetta. There is no other way you can look at this.
Let me tell you, let me give you certain dates.
Now, how have you discovered, why has he been suspended today and not 1 week back?
Can I give you certain dates?
Why has he been suspended today and not 1 week back?
No. He could have been suspended a week.
So why wasn't he? No, why wasn't he?
The question is,
why wasn't he?
There can be coincidence.
What's the coincidence? You file a case of hacking against him day before yesterday.
Allow me to complete.
Allow
me to complete. Only then can I enter the debate. It cannot be one-way debate. Now listen to this. The administrative law has a procedure laid down under the law. He has been given notices not once but 5 times. He has refused to answer those notices. There is a proper inquiry which has been set up by a superior officer. He, being a law enforcer, understands the role very well. He has taken 30 constables from his place who are under trainees, who don't even ask.
Yes, that's important. That's very important.
and he has taken them along with the vehicles, and he can go on indulging in misconduct one after the other, and you are saying government has no recourse to it, to an erring delinquent officer. An erring delinquent officer,
that officer
needs to be dealt with.
Okay, now let me go ahead.
And one more thing, Arna. One minute.
Who is pretending to be correct has to be correct even in the way he conducts himself. This man is incorrect and incorrigible.
I have a simple question. I have a simple question. I have a simple question. I have a very, very simple question. If this man is totally incorrigible, why have you on the 126th day decided he's incorrigible, which happens to be 48 hours after you file a case against him, when he exposed the fact that your government officers had access to SIT papers? I want to join Kamini Jaiswal, please.
Formalities need to be undertaken.
Formalities. I want to join Kamini Jaiswal now. Kamini Jaiswal, how are you viewing this?
Preliminary inquiry has to be held. Preliminary inquiry has to be held.
Sure.
Preliminary inquiry is held.
So, of course,
after the preliminary inquiry,
I am coming back. I'm coming back, Mr. Rosa. Mr. Rosa, I'll give balanced time on both sides. I just want to get Kamini Jaiswal's views. How are you viewing this?
Yeah.
Ms. Jaiswal.
Yeah, this cacophony I don't understand.
Do respond.
The thing is that this man is trying to bring out the truth, and of course when he put his head on the anvil like this, he knew what was there in it for him. But why the Gujarat government has taken no action against those senior police officers who have been indicted by a magisterial inquiry for having killed innocent people, and they want to take this kind of an action against a person who is trying to bring out the truth, and just few days after he files this affidavit and he exposes their collusion with and I'm really appalled at the SIT, in whom all this confidence has been reposed by the Supreme Court. They were working as the SIT of the Supreme Court, and what they have done, I think they should hang their heads in shame.
Now, can I ask a question here? And this question goes out to you and to Ajay. Should we disregard the fact that the same officer who you are entrusting so much faith in has been in active touch with Congress leaders? He has requested Congress leaders to give him BlackBerry phones so that he can be in touch with them on a secure line. That he has been in conversation with them on emails where he tells them, I am awaiting both your packages and the BlackBerry, that he has taken material gifts from Congress leaders. Is the angle of political motive, Ajay, that question is to you and Kamini, is the angle of political motive of no relevance?
Arnab, if you can permit me 1 minute. Arnab,
let him respond.
Permit me half a minute.
Okay.
If you can permit me half a minute.
Okay, go on.
Emails have further shown Sanjeev talking to several activists, including Tista Setalwad and many more, as to how pressure can be put on the judges of the Supreme Court.
He's not saying I didn't.
The pressure can be put on MI.
He's accepting I did. He's saying yes I did. No, he's saying yes I did. He's not saying I didn't. Is that a crime?
Is he justified in saying how to put pressure on the honorable judges? How to put pressure on amicus curiae?
His motivation, which needs to be checked.
Okay, motivations of Sanjeev Bhatt. Motivations of Sanjeev Bhatt.
Another thing, Arnab, I want to bring to your notice.
He goes to the extent of conversation with Congress leaders and social activists, so-called social activists, that how do we put pressure on the judges of the Supreme Court?
1993 there is a criminal case, 1996 there is a criminal case.
Which has no relevance to this case.
Beyond the call of duty.
No, but which has no relevance to this case.
Has been involved in criminal cases.
No, which has no relevance to this case.
I am saying when you, of course this is not.
No, Kamini Jaiswal.
Exactly my point. What is relevant to this case is he has been suspended for absenteeism.
Okay.
That's all which is relevant. Nothing else is relevant.
Now you see, you have discovered all the ills of this man. You have discovered all the ills of this man now. Yes, Ajay is first respond. Ajay, 1 minute, Mr. Rosa, let Ajay respond. Ajay is responding.
It's the height of hypocrisy to say that Mr. Modi's government is not going after Sanjeev because of whistleblowing. I mean, at least have the dignity to accept the truth and, and confront it. I mean, then you find out different perverted ways to suppress voices. And then Ms. Lekhi is saying that, you know, this is a simple case of suspension, it's indiscipline, it's got nothing to be related to his whistleblowing activity. I mean, the basic integrity, everybody, you know, if you ask anybody on the road, if you ask anybody in the street, is it an issue of political vendetta? It is an issue of political vendetta. Have the courtesy or the dignity not to insult the intelligence and say that you're going after him because he's speaking against the government. It's a simple thing, but at least respect our intelligence on that. You don't do it for every other officer. You don't file an FIR against, get the writer constable who worked under you to file an FIR against him. You don't file an IT Act and say that he violated the IT Act when the email copies of the SIT was with the
1 minute, let him complete, Meenakshi.
Then you go and suspend him when he's repeatedly informed you. So, I mean, have the courtesy not to insult the intelligence of the nation or all the people who are watching this show. You're doing it fine and have the, you know, the dignity to say that.
Okay, now
this is the way you muzzle, you know, voices of dissent. And it's irrespective to the discussion, Arnav, whether it is, you know,
I must go to Ms. Jaiswal.
Bring out a conscious